Here are the 19 most disrespectful moments in football history.
What happened here? Oh, goodness me! Goodness me!
Former Manchester United, Sheffield Wednesday and Leeds United forward Eric Cantona is remembered fondly as one of the best ever players to grace the Premier League. But this is one memory he'll pay to get off people's minds. Harsh tackles and player squabbles is a common habit on the football pitch, but it's completely unprofessional when it happens away from the game. While walking off the pitch after being sent off for a dangerous kick against an opponent, Eric Cantona decided to launch himself into the crowd of spectators and attack a fan.
And Cantona has got involved with a fan in the front row.
Completely disrespectful. But the consequences left a mark on him as well, as he got suspended for 9 months. Let's be honest, not every decision made by a referee during a game sits well with us. But thankfully, most players are respectful about accepting the official's decision. Paolo Di Canio, for sure, wasn't. Paolo Di Canio's Hall of Shame moment came after he got on the receiving end of a red card issued by the referee. Rather than walk off the pitch like a true professional, he decided to push the official. Well, the joke was on him, as he got suspended for 11 games in total. In 2011, Luis Moreno, while playing for Panama, caused one of the biggest outrages in the world, let alone football. An owl, the official club mascot of Junior Barranquilla, Panama's opponent on this uneventful day, fell on the pitch after being struck by the ball accidentally. But what happened next was a complete lack of respect for the opposition, for wildlife, and for humanity in general. Seeing the poor bird lying on the ground, Luis Moreno went ahead and kicked it off the football pitch in a complete show of disrespect. The owl died as well. Senegalese footballer El Hadji Diouf is a walking ball of controversy, causing mayhem wherever he went, from Liverpool to Blackburn to Bolton to Rangers. What got him despised the most, however, is his tendency to make it rain on footballers with his mouth. When he was at Liverpool, he spat at Celtic supporters, and he did the same at Portsmouth defender Ian Dejew when he was at Bolton. It's a dirty habit he kept on till the end of his career. Hate to imagine playing against a guy like that. Players leaving from one club to another is common practice in football, but Sol Campbell took this common tradition to a new height of disrespect with this Judas move a few years back. During a post-match interview, Campbell, who was at Tottenham at the time, was asked if he would be leaving or staying at the club by the interviewer. He answered, "I'll be staying."
What about your situation, Sol? Will you be staying at Tottenham?
I'm staying.
So as you can imagine, Tottenham fans and the rest of the football world were not just surprised but stunned to see Campbell signing for Arsenal a few days later. He's not the first player to do this, but to tell a barefaced lie to supporters that he'll be staying at Tottenham and then sign for arch rivals Arsenal a few days after simply means he has no respect for the club and its fans. When a match gets overheated, we've seen opponents clash several times on a pitch, but what about players from the same team? Just how angry can a player get from a teammate not passing the ball? Well, Lee Bowyer certainly took it personally when Kieran Dyer decided not to pass him the ball. He got so angry that he grappled and trashed his teammate in what remains one of the most embarrassing moments in football. The two players had no respect for the Newcastle United badge they were both representing. Good thing they were both served with red cards, fines and suspensions. A lack of respect does not quantify the shameful display put on by Chelsea fans here. It's one of the most unsavoury moments in football, made possible by the Chelsea fans present at the 2012 FA Cup against Tottenham. During a 1-minute moment of silence, held in memory of the victims of the Hillsborough disaster, the Chelsea fans present at the game continuously booed throughout the entire minute. No lawyer in the world can defend this level of depravity and manner of despicable behaviour. Football can and should be better than this. Players miss matches all the time for several reasons. Sickness, injuries, fitness, and several other factors can come into play. But not for Florin Radjachoyu. He missed a crucial match for a different reason. Florin missed a crucial West Ham game against Manchester United because, wait for it, he had decided to go shopping for the day with his wife. This happened for real. Florin chose the day of a crucial match against Manchester United to be romantic, completely disrespecting his club and the fans. Sounds like a scene from a K-drama. Thought we covered all the most shocking moments in football? There's more to come. Stay tuned for the next 10. They're even more exciting. Players shaking hands before the start of a game is a common pre-match tradition that dates back decades. It's a show of good faith, but that was completely betrayed by Luis Suarez. During the Premier League game between Liverpool and Manchester United, Suarez blatantly refused to shake Evra's hand during the pre-game ritual. The backstory to the bad blood between the two players began when Suarez was suspended for 8 games for racially abusing Evra. There are no punishments for refusing to shake a player's hand, but in a swift moment of karma, Liverpool went on to lose the game 2-1 and Evra got his revenge by celebrating in Suarez's face. Pepe is widely known for disrespecting his opponents and taking his tough, no-nonsense type of defending a little too far. We can think of a few such moments, but one that particularly comes to mind happened during Real Madrid's match against Getafe in 2009. During the match, Pepe not only brought down Getafe's captain Javi Casquero by viciously tackling him, but while Casquero was down, he stepped on him, kicked him, and then lunged a punch at one of his teammates. Madrid's keeper Iker Casillas had to step in to escort him off the pitch. Another day, same Pepe. Now, you're probably thinking, could things possibly get more intense? You betcha, like and subscribe they can. Stick around because the top 10 moments get even crazier. Jose Mourinho isn't called the special one for just any reason. And this particular moment was especially disrespectful, not just to anyone, but to his player. During Mourinho's time at Roma in a game against Bologna, he brought on Renato Sanchez in the 47th minute. Guess what happened next? In the 62nd minute, for no particular reason, Mourinho decided to bring in both for Renato. Renato spent just 18 minutes on the pitch. The midfielder was completely dumbfounded. After Atletico beat Juventus by 2-0 in the first leg of the 2019 Champions League knockout stages, there wasn't a happier man in the world than Diego Simeone. He was so happy that he publicly said he would hawk watermelon on the streets if Juventus could manage a comeback. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Diego would learn this the hard way. In the second leg fixture, Cristiano turned the tie around by scoring 3 goals to send Atletico crashing out of the knockout stages. The disrespect came after he celebrated at the Atleti fans the same way Diego did in the first leg. Lionel Messi has made it a habit to embarrass every goalkeeper he goes against. After facing off against more than 160 goalkeepers across the long spell of his career, the results have always turned out the same. Goal, goal, goal. So after scoring his 644th goal for Barcelona to make him the player with the most goals for a single club, Messi teamed up with Budweiser to send goalkeepers a bottle of beer for each goal he has scored against them. Mamma mia! Let's just say when the whole thing was said and done, some goalkeepers got enough beer to set up a bar. Suarez at Liverpool was already a world-class striker, but as good as he was the very centre of controversies. From biting opponents to mouthing racial slurs and making ridiculous dives, Suarez was doing it all. One coach finally concluded he was fed up and decided to air his opinions. Ahead of Liverpool's game with arch-rivals Everton, David Moyes went live and said all Suarez does is dive, he's a cheat and somehow he always gets away with it. Big talk, David. Suarez responded by scoring a stunner against Everton and celebrated by diving right in front of David Moyes. Can you imagine that? The rivalry between Dutch and Germans has always been a sight to behold in football, until Rijkaard and Voller took it to another level. During the match between Netherlands and West Germany in the 1990 World Cup, here's how the whole scenario went down. Voller was viciously tackled by Rijkaard right before the Dutchman spat in his hair. Ugh! As any player should, Voller runs to the referee complaining, and instead he gets a yellow card too. Oof! Later, when challenging the Dutch keeper for a ball, Voller jumps to get out of the way, but the Dutch thought he dived. Out of nowhere, Rijkaard rushes over, shoves Voller, grabs his ear and steps on his foot. They both got a red card, but it was far from over. On the way to the dressing room, Rijkaard spits on Voller once more to round up that pathetic display. Emiliano Martinez was undoubtedly one of the most important players for Argentina during their successful World Cup campaign. He even won a Golden Glove for his efforts, but as he received the award, he celebrated peculiarly by placing the glove near his crotch. A happy day for sure, but perhaps he could have shown more respect for his opponents. Mario Balotelli might just be one of the most controversial players in history, and this is one of his famous moments. After being played for on goal by his teammate, Mario decided to attempt a PlayStation finish instead of a simple finish into the net, and it ended very badly for him. After managing to mess up a beautiful goal scoring chance, he got booed by his fans and was taken off by the coach afterwards. Zidane's last professional game as a footballer gave us one of the most iconic World Cup moments of all time. In the 2006 World Cup final, Zidane chose to exit the stage of football by headbutting Marco Materazzi. So out of character. But in his defence, Materazzi was reported to have been teasing Zidane about his sister, so he had it coming. During a game between AC Milan and Inter, Marco Materazzi somehow got on the bad side of Zlatan. After being a victim of several harsh tackles from Marco, Zlatan carefully waited for his moment. It arrived when Zlatan viciously planted his foot on Marco's face in what can only be described as a kung fu move. Marco was rushed to hospital as a result, and when he was asked later, Zlatan simply said, "I've been waiting for this moment for 4 years." Typical Zlatan. And there you have it, our top 19 most disrespectful moments in football. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more incredible highlights from the beautiful game's rich history. Stay tuned